my fifth graders or anybody else to come on. I'm going to start working on this half portrait. Those of you at home are, you've got the half portrait that I provided for you. These came from Skyward. And what we're going to do is focus on this line of symmetry that's down the center of the face. And as we do this, we're going to want to make sure that our eyes align. And the spacing that's in between, we need to consider that. Like the distance between Alexi's eye and the brim of her nose, approximately about 1/4 there. And then the other eye, visually spaced out, is about the same. And you can use your pencil as a tool of measurement to determine where and how these eyes are formed. You have a circle that is the center of the oval, that is the eyeball, and then you have your pupil. Within the pupil, you need to consider a reflection. It's this little white spot here. That is what actually makes the eyeball seem to come up to life. Change out my pencil here so I have a little better control. Lexi has another line that goes above this. The most important thing was when you're doing portraits that you don't push too hard starting out in case you do make a mistake that you can erase. Mr. Reifel just lightly focusing on the details. Now this edge here, you notice this shadow here is actually the edge of the nose. We're going to carry that down. It's usually around this here to the center of the nose, and this comes down to about where the nostril is. You can barely see Alexi's here because this is so faint. I think I'm accurate there. Then her lip's going to come across here. And again, because we're symmetrical, it's similar on both sides, but it's not always exactly the same on both sides because we are just human beings. So I'm going to carry those images or those lines along there. I'm going to get an approximation as to about how far apart I want the space between the eyelid and the eye, and then the rest of the face. And again, I'm going to do this symmetrically. This eye ear is slightly in an angle, so I'm going to carry that up and around, and then carry this down. Shape of her head is an oval. The biggest mistake most kids do is they put their eyes about right there in the center of the forehead. I don't know if that's just a developmental or perspective type thing, but best if we keep our eyes to the center of the oval. Her neckline's going to come down here, and she has somewhat of a collar here, so I'm going to replicate that on this side to make it somewhat similar. And you can always open these photographs up and look at what's there. But this really just is a nice way of helping the kids see the symmetry in one's face. And she has this headband that's coming along here with the rosettes on it. And I'm just going to carry her hair down and around. I'm assuming it's over here on the collar, so I'm going to do the same kind of thing and just kind of wrap it around. Keeping that, again, somewhat symmetrical. I'm going to use some artistic license here in the flow of the hair, just kind of replicating the opposite side. Something that seems natural there. Now, along this shoulder here, her shoulder's here, Oh, you can't see this. I'm sorry. On the shoulders here, still can't see it. The shoulders along here, I'm going to do the same thing. I need to carry it out here to the edge of the paper. That'll help me determine where my hair is going to go as well. Up here she has a necklace here too, so I'm going to add that. I think that's a necklace. Seems like it because there's a dark line there and then there's a line here. And then now what I'm going to do is with my shading stems, I'm going to start showing where the shadows are. If you notice this shadow here, there's going to be a similar shadow that's going to be in here. And so I'm just going to use what's called hatching. And I could use cross hatching where I go across it like that. That's going to make it even darker. But just again, keep in mind when you're doing this, you don't have to press really hard with your pencil. When I did the value test or the tint and shade assessment, one of the things my students were saying, it's about the pressure, which is true. But when we talk about color, it's about adding white to it. In this case, we're going to take away the white. This is kind of adding the black takes away the white, which gives then the different tones or values. And my shading stamp, that's what this is. It's just some paper, cardboard that you can buy or at supply store or Walmart. And it just helps blend that graphite into the paper, helping to create the shadows. Lexi has again some darker shadows down inside the hair here. And I'm going to emphasize her ears by making this just a little darker. And again, I am pressing much harder. To get a gradation, I need to blend out. Again, I want to show the texture of the hair, the movement of the hair. Just working my way around. And creating some of those shadows. No, I'm not finished. I'm going to keep working. But this gives you an idea of what we're going for here. I've got some examples in the hallway of prior students' work. Just have fun with this today, guys. Do your best. Don't get too heavy with your shading and enjoy your time. Thank you. Don't get too caught up on your portrait either, because sometimes that seems to be um, a thing that I've seen in kids. They have a hang up on drawing themselves. They become a little more conscious of who they are and what they look like. But just relax and have fun.